If there's one thing you'll remember from today's podcast, it's getting to hear a co founder's personal journey and a sneak peek into what it is really like developing an EdTech project. Welcome back, everyone, to Zealous Talks, a technology podcast for all your technology updates. I'm Kinjal, your host for the show. Back when we were kids, mixing games and learning was like a dream come true. But today, it's a whole new world for education. Kids are lucky, I guess. Things are changing so fast, and to help us keep up with the pace, we have Esteban here with us, the expert to tell us all about it. Esteban has co-founded this awesome edtech app called Aulasneo. So, Esteban, can you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the invitation. Let me introduce myself. I'm Esteban Echeverri. I'm co-founder of Aulasneo. I'm based in Buenos Aires, Argentina, and we provide services to different parts of the world. Basically, what we do is, as you were mentioning, we are in the edtech field, and we provide a virtual campus or an LMS for different organizations so that they can run their online projects and edtech projects.
Okay. So can you tell us how did you get into this edtech world? What motivated you?
Yeah, so along my career, I work in different technology companies,
Okay.
multinational companies, and there was a moment in my career, my professional career, where I wanted to provide a more how can I say, straight approach and a straight value added to organizations dealing with education, and also along this exploration, I came across an open source project, an open source software. It's called
Mm-hmm.
OpenEdX. So that was a good point where we were able to match our interests, our motivations of helping other organizations through education and with the technology approach. That it's a very, very challenging and very important path, because we help people and we help different organizations develop their own professional paths.
Okay, right. That's nice to hear. So if I ask you in just like few sentence, what is the importance of technology in education today?
So today it's a very, very important intersection, technology and education. And the main idea here is to understand that both components of the equation are important, right? So we need
Okay.
all the technology stack, right? The developers, the technology, the coding languages, but also it is very, very important in these kind of projects that you keep in mind
Mm-hmm.
that the pedagogy and the learner is in the center of every project, right? Because there are cases where we might get distracted with new technologies, right? And we forget a little bit of the main goals, right, of these projects that are transform people's lives, right? And help them thrive, learning new things, new topics, new behaviors, right? So it's
Okay.
very it's key to have a balance between the two main drivers.
Okay, so that is the importance, I guess. But if we see like all that has happened, the pandemic, the boom in online classes, the introduction of AI is like everywhere. So how has virtual classes changed? What are the new features that have added?
Yes. So, of course, the pandemic has provided a huge impact on the way we learn and the way different organizations approach learning, right? So many of the tools that were used during the pandemic in a bit of a rush, they were already available before that, but the organizations, there was much more demand than supply at that time, right? So pandemic was a good driver to help the educational institutions to take the leap, let's say, and start using them as a core tool of their offerings, right? So this has had a tremendous impact. Of course, these tools have evolved a lot very rapidly
Mm-hmm.
due to the new uses, and the most important thing is that there was a mindset shift, right? So everyone understood that true learning was possible using online tools, of course, in different modalities, and each organization has had and experienced their own journey depending on what they were offering and their style, right? But that was a great shift and a good mindset change, and that had speed up the development of many features and many different new tools, and improved the existing tools. And of course, this opened the place for new innovation, as AI is one of those, right? So this is has this change has come to stay, right?
Right. So pandemic has given a boom, and as you talked about innovation like AI, two innovations I've been hearing about in EdTech journey is like artificial intelligence, AR, VR. So they sound like a sci-fi movie scenario, a concept that has straight come out from it. So can you explain what are those and how they are actually helping students to learn better? What is the experience like?
Yes, right. So one thing which is important to understand is that the online learning environment is not a mirror. Is not trying to mimic the on-site experience, right, or the classroom experience. It's a different environment, right?
Hmm.
So as it is a different environment because everything is virtual, right? There are different challenges, right? So there are many initiatives like AR, augmented reality, or virtual reality that they try to mimic on their own way, right? On their own, let's say, with different variables or different parameters,
Okay.
try to get this the community or the shared learning experience, right? Because we humans are, I mean, we're social people, we're social beings. And when one does was a virtual event, well, we need to create tools to recreate that community and that interaction. And again, it really depends on the kind of the topic, right? But in
Right.
many cases, the interaction itself is much more valuable that the let's say the initial contents that the different courses provide, right? So both AR and VR, they do play along with these new variables so that you can improve the engagement and you can improve the outcomes of the online learning projects for different students, right?
Okay, so they are more helpful in building a community also.
Hmm. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so if you talk about the other innovation that you recently said, AI, artificial intelligence. So how students are leveraging it in current scenario?
So, of course, as we all have been surprised in the last year or year and a half with all the new innovations that AI have
Mm-hmm.
come along in different fields, education is not the exception, and there are really important improvements that we're starting to experience, right? So AI in the education field has different trends or different approach, right? From one part, there's all the companion or this kind of the co-pilot concept that is very interesting, that it's leveraging the experience of the students, whether they need a tutor, and every time, I don't know, you approach a certain topic or a certain text or a certain book, or and you have some doubts, right? And well, there are these AI agents that can help you guide to understand different concepts or have different explanations of the concepts are being explained with other words, right? That is the typical role that a teacher has in an online in a classroom, right? That when
Right.
you don't understand a certain topic, you go and ask the teacher, and the teacher provides the same explanation in different ways, right? So that's a very important role that AI is taking. That's on terms of on the learning part. Also on the evaluation part, right? When you have an assignment, that it's an open response assignment that someone needs to understand and evaluate what you're
Hmm.
providing as a response. That can also be assisted with AI tools. And also on the teacher side, it's helping teachers to better develop courses, to save a lot of time when you have to, for example, create the contents, or maybe streamline the contents, or create the questions, right, for the examinations, right. There are, like, again, different approaches where AI is impacting education. It's going to have a huge impact, in particular when you are running tech projects that are at scale, right, with hundreds of thousands of users.
Right.
That is a place where AI is going to help a lot to save time and improve the learning experience. That, after all, it's at the end of the day, it's what really matters, right? Because it can be a flashy and interesting and very cool feature, but if it doesn't improve the learner's experience,
Exactly.
well, it's not gonna have a huge impact, right? But in this case, it is. It is going to do it. We are still, believe it or not, we're still in the early stages, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that in 1 year or in 2 years, the scenario is going to be very different, much better, right? So it's these are exciting times to be working on the edtech field.
So I guess AI is helping students get their information on fingertips. Like they do not have to wait for the second day to meet their tutors and ask the question or simplify the complex topics. And for the teachers, it has become easier to introduce different ways of learnings. And I have seen that people have started using Google less and more ChatGPT. Do you think the shift has started happening? It's just a random question.
Yeah, as well. It's really going to change many roles and many perspectives, right? So
Right.
students are changing their methods much more rapidly than what we are thinking about, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
while we are thinking how can we change the offering of this kind of projects, students are just changing and learning all the time, right? So they
Yes.
might be using these AI tools for things that we still haven't imagined, but they're doing because they are accessible, and that is part of this the evolution, this new trend that is changing the paradigm of learning, right? I think it's if you think how this works, right? That there's a machine, right? You ask a question and they answer
Right.
almost as a human, not
Yes,
necessarily,
exactly.
of course, uh, challenges. Then it's really leveraging the experience. And again, we're still, it is still early days to
Mm-hmm.
really know the different trends, but it's very clear there's going to be a huge impact and a positive impact, right?
Okay, right. So when, as I said earlier, that gamification in education, like mixing games and education together, was like a dream for all of us. But students right now are very lucky to have this form of learning. So is this really making a difference, or games are like a distraction for them? What do you think? Or
Well, yeah, this is a great point,
yeah.
because this I always like to bring an anecdote from one of the founders of TikTok, the this popular social network. So at
Yes.
the beginning, they were creating an educational tool, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what they found out is that when you need to learn, I mean, you need to move from your comfort zone. It's uncomfortable to learn, right? So they kind of twisted and start adding like videos so that people music so that people have fun, right? And
Hmm.
well, they kind of swift change a little bit of the path and pivoted a little. And I like that example because it is true that learning a new stuff, especially when you are learning something new that you're not very familiar, or some concepts are complex, it's
Hmm.
hard. I mean, it requires
Right.
effort, right? But, gamification, it's a great strategy to to help with the engagement and with the motivation, right? So that
Right.
you kind of forget that you're learning, right? So you're
Exactly.
focusing on the different goals, right? I don't know,
Hmm.
reaching the next level of the game, and
Hmm. Hmm.
probably
Hmm.
to unlock the level, you need to solve problems. And those problems, to solve those problems, you need tools from different areas and different areas of knowledge. And actually, you're learning without realizing
Without
that you're learning, right?
exactly.
Yeah, so that is key. Again, this is, of course, this is I don't say it's going to be applicable to all fields of knowledge, but
Mm-hmm.
it's great, especially for complex topics, or maybe to engage people that are new to a certain topic. It's a great initial phase to get interest, I don't know, from let's say educational, from secondary students, that they are trying to understand what they want to do, whether it's, I don't know, engineering or literacy, right? So when you play with this, when you use this kind of gamification, you improve the engagement, and improving the engagement, the results again are much better. The key is trying to lower the barriers of entry and the barriers of perceiving a course as challenging,
Right.
and as a result, the experience is better, the outcomes are better,
Hmm.
and we can find this path to introduce people to new topics.
So gamification mostly helps, like there's a burden sometimes to understand a complex topic. Like I have to really understand it, and that burden demotivates student. And gamification helps the interest going on and keeps them motivated. That yeah, level one, level two, you'll keep uncovering the topic in a
Mhm.
simplified way.
Yes, also you have to keep in mind that in many of the online learning projects, the self-motivation of the student is key, right? Because
Right.
typically you are alone with a notebook or with a mobile phone, unlocking the topics, or trying to learn. So it's not the same as when you are in a classroom, where the motivation in many cases, it's a direct um, activity from the teacher, right? So you have this connection, this face-to-face connection in the online, in the EdTech environment. So you need to find other ways to do it, right? So this kind of um, unlocking levels, or maybe competing with others with points or things like that, that generates self-motivation and improves the motivation and the engagement of people, that if not, they are alone, and probably with other things happening in their lives, right? So it's a good tool to engage this kind of students, and help them thrive.
So it's not really a distraction. It really makes a difference, if you say.
Yes, yes. Of course, it is. These projects they need a lot of planning, and they need a lot of work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they are very, very, very valuable in many, many different cases.
Okay. So if we take a sneak peek into the future, what do you think the personalized learning outcome for students will look like? Like the approach or outcome? Can you paint us a picture that it is going to look like that?
Yes, yes. So basically, I see like three main trends that are going to be developed in the next years, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first trend is the personalized learning, right? This kind of a revolution here. This
Right.
is taking the roots of the adaptive learning, right? But powered by AI, is going to be really, really substantially changed, and it's going to be revolutionized, I would say.
Okay.
This is because all these tools, they use data, right? And they are data-driven engines, right? So nowadays, there are very interesting tools to analyze the data. And when you ingest this data into AI models, the outcomes are really, really surprising. And these models are evolving every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say I want to learn something about mechanics, right? So I can just run a short form with explaining what I know about it, and this is going to be the input of a system that the engine is going to say, okay, what do you know? What do you want to learn? And okay, this is the content that you will need, right? So
Okay.
then you take the content. This is going to be automated. You take the
Hmm.
content, and then you finish the first stage, and then you do again another survey, and the engine is going to be again recreating, or it's going to recreate the next contents, right? So that's like adaptive learning, but not only but in a more flexible and actually creating the contents, right? So
Hmm.
it's I think it's going to be one of the biggest trends.
Okay.
Also, the virtual classrooms are evolving every day. The
Mm-hmm.
tools are really seamlessly integrated. Different applications, different devices, and again integrating the different features. Like as we were saying, there will be just a main campus or a main virtual classroom that's
Mm-hmm.
going to take the best of other things, right? The best of gamification, the best of interaction, the best of discussion of communities, and that's going to be integrated because there's one important thing is that the learners are evolving, and the way young kids are learning today, native the digital people. So we don't. I mean, kids today they don't learn as people 200 years ago, right? And there are
Exactly, of
many
course.
scenarios where schools are still following a model that was developed for or thought for a different era, right? For the Industrial Revolution era, right? Today, everything is personalized, whether you like it or not,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Even my reels on Instagram are
So
personalized.
yes, that's one of
Yes.
the cases, right? So
Yes.
you don't know because okay, but that's that algorithm that is personalizing the videos that is going to show you. Well, this is going to be applied to the virtual environment and the learning environment. So instead of having entertainment videos, you will have different topics that you will be needing, right?
Right.
So that's the virtual cycle that is being built, and probably in the next year or so we will see these with concrete examples, right? And all
Okay.
these projects are again are data driven, and this has been a huge evolution on the data, right? There was an initial phase where we were collecting data and we were not very sure what to do with it, right? But
Right.
now we really know, right? Just in these AI models to improve the outcomes of these answers and be more precise and face those kinds of challenges, right?
Okay, so the personalized journey is going to adapt to my interest and give me topics or content accordingly, as you said. But when we talk about the data analytics part, the teacher's side, how it is going to help teachers, how they are going to analyze the data, and what is the best application use of it, as you can describe.
Yes. So again, this is one of the pillars of the next trends,
Okay,
right? And let me give you an example that is something that we are working on in at Aulasneo, right? So what we think about data and analytics is well, complex systems where only specialized people can do the queries to get information, right? Well, that is evolving really, really fast, and actually, we have started implementing AI so that you can talk with a prompt, right? And you say, okay, you as a teacher, for example, you
hmm.
ask the system, okay, who's the best student? Who is the student that it's being a little bit delayed? And the system is going to interpret your question and do the query and do the technical stuff. And then the answer is a dashboard, a visual. So it's going to be much more friendlier to the teachers, much more
Okay.
friendly even to the students. And so that simplification and saving that time and being precise with all the knowledge, that's gonna really impact the learning experience and the teaching experience too, right?
Okay, right. So that sounds very interesting. So now we'll jump up to the personal journey. See, every great project starts with an idea. And yours also
Mhm.
would have started with the idea, a spark. So I want to know what was the spark behind your EdTech project and how did you envision it to be?
Yeah, so the spark was we saw that there was a lot of opportunity to improve and to promote this mindset shift
Hmm.
from classroom education, in-person education to the online environment. There was a lot of room of opportunity to improve, and also the inspiration was, okay, we can help organizations and they can help a lot of people, right? Because education it's really transformative. It really transforms people's lives, right? So you can get a better job, you can move from one country to the other one, and the key is education. And nowadays, the online environment is makes it much more accessible, right? And
Right.
not only you don't even need to travel, right? So you can improve your situation without traveling, right?
Hmm.
So that was the inspiration. We want to make an impact, and we had all our experience working with the technology companies, and there were a lot of small institutions that they were experts on the matter, but they were not experts in EdTech technology. So we saw that intersection where we could add value. Unfortunately, well, we've impacted several organizations of this kind in different parts of the world. Right?
Oh, okay. So you kind of found a gap, institution with expertise but lacking in technology, and try to fill that gap. And I
Yes.
guess online learning really helps to students who do not have to travel overseas, and it saves a lot of time and expenses that are that cost. So okay, when we jump back to the thing that everything starts with a great idea, and with great idea comes with great responsibility and challenges. So there must have been challenges in your journey too. So what were they and how did you overcome it?
Yes, of course. Yes, there's a great responsibility, as you were saying. Yes, to give you
Yeah.
an example, so we help develop and run on a virtual campus for UA organization called Kaplan, and they have around 25,000 users around the world. So yes, it's a big responsibility, both in terms of the technical stuff, also in terms of the well the financial structure to make it work. But the key here is when you are really passionate about the projects, you really are able to face these challenges and to find a solution, right? We have
Yes.
this approach. There's a problem, and let's find the solution. And when the motivation is strong, and when you know that people in different parts of the world get access to your system, and with that they learn and they can improve their lives, it's really, and there's a boost of energy, and you get creative, right? That you need to be, because
Exactly.
the things that change from one day to the other, and you have to be always aware and ready to do the changes needed so that everything is accomplished.
The passion thing that you mentioned, it's like it's very personal to us at Zealous System. If we talk about it, that we only make team with people who are really passionate in their software development journey. And it's like whenever you are passionate for something, no matter what the struggles are, you will try to overcome it, and you'll not end.
Mhm.
You'll keep thriving. So passion really. is an important factor, and we call it and other part is agilus, we call it a voila moment. It's like something that we have been passionate about, and when it succeeds it's like a big relief. So you must have also have faced it, a success moment, like yeah, I've done it. Can you share a moment like this that you have experienced?
Yeah, so it is true, right? So you need this fuel, the passion, because there are situations that are really really complex, right?
Yes.
And they're challenging, and you have some commitments, right? So we, for example, one thing I have so when we started with this UN organization, and we built their campus, and well, they migrated from another solution, and it was the project was growing so much that you needed a more scalable solution. That's why we started working with them, and we helped them do everything. And one of the key scenarios, or key successes were that all this was planned during the 2019. So in 2020, when pandemic hit, so we started working. The campus for them was ready in January 2020, right?
Yeah.
So we helped them thrive with 50 courses during the first year, and we helped them. So they were really ahead of the rest, right, ahead of the in their environment, and they were able to deliver the high quality education. They did with water capacity building,
Mm-hmm.
and also we had the experience, as we are part of this open source community that is the Open edX projects. It was another very very important moment where we were able to share the experience that we've had with CapNet in last year in the MIT, where there was a global meeting, and we share our journey with them. We share our developments, and we keep on this philosophy that everything we learn, all the experiences, can be helpful for others, right? So
Right.
we share that for those findings, so that we can inspire others, as we were inspired by people working on this open source project at the beginning, right? So we think the more we share, the more everyone benefits. So that is something really important, to be open, and to share the lessons learned that sometimes they're hard, right? They're stressful, but it's very important to share the experiences with others, so that you can help pave the journey to other people, right?
Okay. So the lessons are to share your journey, as without this, yeah. Okay, so that concludes our discussion on what a EdTech project development journey really looks like. Esteban, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and insight with us today.
Mhm. Well, thank you very much for giving me the space to share our perspective. And well, I'm available for anything, and it's been a real pleasure being here in your podcast.
So that's it from my side. We'll come back with another episode revolving around technology. Till then, keep exploring, keep innovating. This is Kinjal signing off.